My personal belief is that, I think there are many ways to reach the same goal. That Tenrikyo is one path that I think has laid a strong foundation. I think within the people that I've seen, interacted with, the teachings that I've learned, I think it is the best guideline for us as followers spiritually and non-spiritually. Hey, I'm Paul Yagi. I'm from San Diego, California. Currently, I'm a teacher at Tenrikyo High School. I didn't have a major in college right off the bat. I think I was undecided in my major until the end of my second year. So I was forced to choose a major. And I taught history in middle school, but actually in college I chose psychology as my major, but education as my minor. It kind of grew on me that, I think helping not necessarily children, but students, the young adult, adolescents, helping them grow and, academically, but also I think, mentally, maybe spiritually, whatever it is, helping them there is an aspect that made me want to teach. I've been in this profession at least for 7 years now, and it's something that I don't regret doing. But in college, looking back now, there was a period of time where I just wanted to drift away from Tenrikyo, and now that I think about it, it was probably because I just wanted to live, I guess what you could call a normal college lifestyle. Even though mission headquarters was really close, I think one part of me, especially let's say the weekends for instance, I didn't want to have church activities take that time up. And because of that, I didn't really visit or go to many services. I think what I just desired was a regular college lifestyle. After college, I think what drew me back to the church was, I would attend a service or stay overnight at mission headquarters, and the people, when I would be hanging out with them, whether we're drinking or doing some kind of volunteer activity, I think the church community, it has something to it that makes me, laugh. I think, feel happiness on a level that matches with what I feel is, I guess, joy or true happiness. And that made me want to continue going to the church at a deeper level than I had been before college. I think inherently this religion just brings something, a feeling to me that I would want for others to feel whenever I interact with them in the future. When I was a kid, I would come to Ojiba, and I had experienced, these children's pilgrimages where you have people showing you. I think it was fun just being with others and me being a student or a participant and having that counselor, these fun counselors that, I kind of want to hang out with. I think, those kind of added up. And I think that made me choose, at least as a major or as a minor, education is something that I'm interested in. And, me teaching out in Los Angeles for a couple years and me being invited to come to Tenri to teach at, Tenrikyo High School, I think that is probably the biggest sign that God the Parent is pulling the strings in ways that I don't understand, or maybe in ways that I can't see. But I think I am here for a reason, and I think that reason, maybe I don't know the exact answer, but I think it's for me to, ultimately help others so that, we can all share in that same joy every day. Oh, that's a good question. Teaching is not always, something where you're always laughing. I think there's a goal to teaching where you want them to learn something academically, but on the flip side, I think there's an aspect where you're nurturing. You're helping students to reach a goal, whether it's to go to college or to learn something about themselves. And as a teacher, I think when I see a student grow, from the first day they've come into the school and until the last day, I've seen them change, become more open, laugh more, make friends, cry because they're so happy about a grade that they've received, that they've been studying for. I think in my profession, that is where I've seen a lot of joy. That's definitely one of the things that I find to be a joy that I felt, especially gratitude, teaching. I think teaching is definitely one of the most, is one of the professions where you feel the most gratitude, and that feeling is reciprocated, especially back to you from your students. That there are, students that are thinking about the future, about how to help people, save people, through their own methods. And just in talking to them and them showing me the kindness, especially me being a first-year teacher out here in Japan, there were many things I didn't know. And, them being so understanding to me, I think shows how, there's a bright future ahead of us, I think, for the future generation. Even though there's a teacher-student relationship, I think students can definitely teach you, or can never stop teaching you many things every day. Yeah, religiously and spiritually, I think that guided how I behave towards students. Students will not always behave as you would like them to, and that's understandable. They're teenagers, 1 minute they're crying, 1 minute they're laughing. I got slapped in the face really hard by one of my middle school students, and that moment for me was one where it made me question, whether I wanted to teach or not, whether if I've made the wrong choice. And as a teacher, it makes you think it was maybe something that I had, done to him that maybe triggered that response, or, maybe it was him. He was experiencing these things in the background that I didn't know about, and that, unfortunately it came to that extent. But from then on in the future, I have to think about how might this student be feeling, at the worst or at the, highest point, whether he's happy or sad. How can I, as a teacher, make his or her situation better at any moment? I think as a teacher, how you react is something that's the most important. And, within Tenrikyo teachings, I think, one thing that comes to me is, dust of the mind, how these dusts can gather if you don't constantly work to clean them. And as a teacher, any moment, I think, you can be angry, or you can choose that moment to, wait, provide, or show patience. And after class, instead of yelling at them, talk to them. What is the problem? How can we, work to improve this situation in the future? I think, there were many instances where I think I struggled with that, definitely. And I grew from that. I think, me being angry doesn't always solve anything. Sure, sometimes a student might stop talking, sure, the student might pay attention to me, but in the long run, how does my actions make this student better? How in the future can I improve what this student wants to do, or what his or her situation may be? I think that experience specifically helped me grow in general. Not that I will receive award, receive an award. I think I have already received an award, at least, from my middle school experience and my high school experience now. I've already learned, what true compassionate people are. Great teachers aren't based on, how smart they are, how, not just how good they are at teaching. Obviously, teaching is important, but I think in how they can make it seem as if, this one student is their only student. They can make every student feel that way because of the time that they've given. And, there are people that no matter how much, how hard it is, how many hours it takes, whatever it is for that one student, whatever it is that they need, they will give up, I guess, countless hours, their time. I've made that direct reference to, or this is probably how, the model of Oya-sama would be, in that she was showing, how regardless of how rich or how poor you are, it's not just a matter of, what your surroundings are, but how you in your mind are. If you believe that you can provide a positive, experience to your surrounding area, just by being kind or by helping others, I think that is definitely reflected in the profession of teaching, and especially the people that I've worked with, especially now. At the high school I'm working at right now, I think I see this on a daily basis. Teachers give up so much of their time to just help out a student, not just academically, to talk to them about their social problems or, problems at home. And, in a sense, the teachers are somewhat like their parents, and I think that, ties in directly with how Oya-sama was to the people around her. Whether I do continue to teach or not in the future, I think, in a sense, for me as a person, I've seen these selfless, kind individuals already. I've met them, and that I can use that example for me as, for instance, as a future person, as a future head minister of a church, when I interact with people, I think I can take that experience and try to apply it to myself and to the people around me, in how I influence or talk to them. I think Tenrikyo is a guide for us to be able to reach that state of mind where we are ultimately grateful for our daily blessings, the bodies that we have received, but I think it's to plant those seeds for joy that everyone can experience. So I don't think you have to be following Tenrikyo religiously to reach a state of joy. Ultimately, I think you do have to fully believe in the spiritual aspect, but I think just following Tenrikyo as a way to live your life, that in itself is an amazing guideline for people. What I would say to people that are unsatisfied with their job, my job as a teacher, I think there are many stressful points in a day where you're trying to balance, grading, planning your lessons, helping students with their problems. I think that kind of stress everyone can relate to in different kinds of jobs. And I think one thing that helps me feel satisfied with what I have is when I think about, there are many other people in this world I think that have it not as good as I have it. And when I think about, my family, my friends, a healthy body, I think that flips a switch where I can appreciate what I have. Even though some days may not go well, overall I'm generally in a great situation. And that's a situation I'm grateful for. In Tenrikyo, there's a teaching called a thing lent, a thing borrowed. And these bodies are something that we borrow from God the Parent. And I think if we can appreciate that the fact I can get up every day, that I can interact and be happy, and just do the regular things that I do every day, I think when I think about those as a daily blessing that I receive, I think that definitely makes me, feel happy and appreciative of the situation that I'm in.
Hold on a second. Hey, Paul, do you have like a pocket right here?
No?
No? Okay.
Inside my shirt? Yes, I do. Sorry.
Do you think you put this in there?
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
I was like, dude, you can see this.